guys. I know that was so cringe, but I'm actually genuinely so excited to be back on YouTube. Can't even describe it. So I'm back. I do have some exciting travel vlogs coming up, so if you do love travel vlogs, you definitely should subscribe if you're not already subscribed, or just look forward to some good videos if you're already subscribed. A lot has changed, and I feel like it'd be a bit rude, like after almost a year, to just pop up and be like, oh hi, here's a vid, about explaining myself for anyone who cares. This video is going to be all about self-employment. I did ask you guys on Instagram to send me some questions. So yeah, if it isn't already obvious by the title, I quit my job. And I'm fully self-employed now. I have a digital marketing business and I create content on my pages Danelia on YouTube, Instagram and TikTok. Instagram and TikTok pages for my business, The Digital Marketer, will be linked down below. Would really appreciate your support, so go follow up all those pages. And I also have a page called The Series Reviewer on TikTok, where I review and suggest series, movies and theatre shows. Don't know why I call them theatre shows and not plays, but I do. Follow The Series Reviewer because you're gonna get so many gems there. That's me right now. And honestly, I'm so happy because I've always been a creative girlie. Like since I was a kid, this is sounding like black and white sob story vibes, but since I was a kid, like I remember begging my mom to get me a camera, and it was this pink Toshiba camcorder. Absolutely loved it. I still have that baby. I still have that baby to this day. All the performing arts, catch me in all the cultural arts where I'm singing or performing somehow. Catch me in the pantomimes, in the theatre groups, catch me dancing on stage. I'm just a creative through and through, so finally being able to like fully submerge myself in me and what is aligned with my purpose, oh, gotta thank God. Stay tuned for some weeks in the life of a self-employed woman in her 20s. Over the last 3 years, I did want to take it seriously, but because of my job, because I worked with younger people, I didn't really want to have a social media presence. I didn't want them to be able to find me online like that. So I wasn't posting, I wasn't doing the things that I knew I could be doing to grow my socials, grow my personal brand more than anything. And things that I do for my clients and things that I was doing for my clients when I started my business behind the scenes, I couldn't do for myself because I didn't want to be visible. How are you dealing with the change? I'm loving it. Really nothing to deal with, if that makes sense, because I feel like my spirit was just waiting for this moment. I'm someone who's always been quite independent, so this isn't like a shock to my system, if that makes sense. I've organized my time in a way that I'm not overly stressed. I feel like I'm dealing with the change very well, and it's something I wanted. So hope that answers your question. Feels like a bit of a crap answer. Anyway, how do you manage your time? I am grateful to God that I have always been organized, been very efficient when it comes to timekeeping, and I really value time. So time and organization are things that are my strong suits naturally, we thank God. So when it comes to managing my time, I would say one of the things that I do that helps me is to-do lists. I always make a to-do list, whether that's the morning of or the night before. I always have a to-do list, and if it's like a bit of a rush one, it'll be like on my notes on my phone quickly, just so I can get all of the ideas out in my head out, all the things that I need to do out. But when I have a bit more time, I do separate my to-do list into like 3 sections, 3 different categories. I'll do that on my iPad. I don't set times. I just know what I'm prioritizing in that day. Everything else will get done, but my priorities come first. What did you do before full self-employment? So I've never actually had like a full-time job. I've never had a 9 to 5. I don't feel like that's necessarily the world for me. Honestly, it's a grind. So shout out to all you guys with 9 to 5s, but I don't feel like that's for me. So I haven't had a 9 to 5. I did have a part-time job. I worked 2 days a week in a Premier League football club. I got to work with the younger players, absolutely loved them, absolutely loved the job, in all honesty. Like, it was sweet. In all the ways a job can be sweet. It was an experience, and it was definitely a blessing to like come out of uni and get an opportunity to work in an environment like that. And it was even inspiring because seeing these people really go for their goals as football players and be around big people sometimes, even if I didn't know who they were because I don't watch football. While I was doing that, obviously I was doing small content creation. I also did A-level and GCSE tutoring as well. Did you find leaving your job scary? I found the actual act of like handing in my notice scary because I'm like, oh. That was the only thing I found scary. In terms of like taking this risk, nah. Sometimes I'm like, wow, I actually did this and I deep it. But overall, I just feel like, right, I don't have any dependents right now. There's no kids calling my name, telling me, mummy, mummy, feed me. So really and truly, I don't need to be scared. And even if I did have dependents, like, I really do trust in this. I trust in God. I trust in my knowledge when it comes to like the marketing world. I have an economics degree, which ties very nicely into supply and demand, understanding consumer behaviors, understanding the market, which links very well into my marketing knowledge and marketing certifications. Like, I know the stuff, do you know what I mean, when it comes to my business, and I've proven that. Also on the content creation, creative side, like, that is so natural to me, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. So although I'm not perfect, I'm consistently getting better because I have that drive too. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, as any person, I have moments where I'm a bit like, when I really break it down and think about it, I'm like, girl, you fine. I'll be real. As soon as I took the leap, everything just so quickly. As I said, I'm not perfect, not even where I want to be yet, but the way things actually started coming to me and falling into place, I was like, what? When you show him that you trust him and you're faithful, you'll be surprised how things just begin to work. So, not really. How do you manage finances? I'm very strict with myself. Definitely save more than I spend. Not for any reason other than I just value savings. I'm not someone who's imagey. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. So you don't need to know how much I got. I'm very strict in terms of, do I need this? When it comes to like buying clothes, I feel like I have enough in my wardrobe, and working with brands and stuff, you do get items that you can also use if you're going out without buying stuff. I cook, I love cooking, so that saves me money. When I put money into my savings, I don't feel like that money belongs to me. I don't know how to explain it. Like, if I were to take money out of it, it'd feel like I'm stealing from someone. So that it's not hard for me to manage my finances in that sense. Not eating out all the time, although it seems like I do on my socials, because obviously it's things to do. I literally just, if it's like a friend's birthday, I'm out, or you know, if it's like a date or blah blah blah, if I'm treating someone, then I'm out. And those times are the times that I make content. I don't go out of my way to go somewhere to make content. I even surprise myself when I look at my content. I'm like, oh right, I do actually have quite a bit of things to do, but I spend most of my time inside. So social media isn't real, is it? As soon as I get bulk payments in my account, I put into savings, like, straight away. I don't think there's any point in leaving large sums of money in your current account personally. Another thing that I started to do as well, when I hit like a big savings goal, I allow myself to keep a bit more in my current account. Not like anything crazy, but just a bit more, to be like, oh, well done girl, you did it. This month you can give yourself a bit more. I do think it's important to do things that make you feel good as well. So me, I love activities. If it's a holiday, I'm willing to spend on that, because I don't think you have to walk around like suffering. It's a balance between thinking about your future, but also making sure you're not putting yourself through it right now. I don't do stuff for show because I just don't feel the need. So I think for me, because I'm not that type of person, it makes it a lot easier to manage my finances. Another thing I do as well is budget. I make a budget every month and I stick to it. Obviously, sometimes things can skew. Just because you have it doesn't mean you need to spend it, okay? What was the final thing that made you take the leap? I feel like I had quite a few of these ones, so I'm just gonna put them together. Final thing, just kind of knowing that you know what you love, and I'm very blessed to know what my passions are. Sometimes it's tough because I have a lot of passions and I have things that I'm passionate about and I'm quite good at. So it's a thing where I was like, okay, I can't do everything at once. As amazing as I am, I'm not superhuman. So we're gonna hone in on something and focus and put our all into that. There were times when I tried to convince myself that I'm not super obsessed with content creation. It's alright, I can live without it. In the 3 years where I couldn't really be visible online, I was hurting. Just got to a point where I realized, like, bro, this is what I want to do. Because of that, working anywhere else just felt really tedious and tiring and soul crushing for me. Even if it wasn't that sort of environment, it felt that way because I felt like I wasn't being true to myself and true to my passions. And I'm not someone who's afraid really of taking risks. So it wasn't because I was fearful or like scared of failure, because really and truly, God forbid the worst happens, I can just go and get a job. Like, that wouldn't even feel like a failure to me. It's just be like, okay, this isn't the path, go get another job. Who's gonna chat to me? Also, just coming to the realization that I've actually done well for myself and I can afford to take this risk And even if I couldn't, I would have still done it anyway, I'll be real. When it comes to like gaining the courage, linking to the other question, I don't feel like there was really courage to gain, because maybe I even waited a bit too long. Even though I was only working for someone else 2 days a week and everything else was like my own work already. So I think that's why this isn't like the hugest leap for me, because I'm very used to organizing things, doing things for myself, being entrepreneurial anyway. When I really want something, yes, there's fear. I'm human. There's definitely fear, but it pales in comparison to the want that I have and the faith that I have. So yeah, and definitely prayer. That gave me all the courage I needed. That the final leap, it was the end of season anyway, if you know how football season works. So it was like, well, am I gonna go back and continue this, or am I going to just take the leap now? It's not like it's a new goal, it's always been the goal. When it comes to courage as well, I always think about future me and which decisions are going to benefit her the most, and that really helps give me the strength and courage to do things. How did you know it was the right time? Did you know, question mark? Yeah, so that leads on nicely. Yeah, I didn't know it was the right time. I don't think you ever really know. Maybe there are things in life where you really know, but part of it is always going to be like a leap of faith. Also, I'm a strong believer of, if you work hard and you put your all into something, you can't fail. So you only fail when you quit, when you give up. That's you failing, because you didn't see it through. What are the highlights of being self-employed? Working for myself. I'm a very introverted person. As big as my personality is, I am an introvert, and this isn't always how I am, and it also depends on how comfortable I am with you, blah blah blah, whatever. You didn't come here to hear that, but I'm an introverted person. I get my energy from being alone. I get my energy from like reading books, watching series, etc. So my highlight is being able to have those periods where I can regroup by myself and still be working. My toxic trait when it comes to this is that I work 7 days a week, and I need to give myself some reprieve and find the balance, and that's the current thing that I'm working on. The highlights, yeah, definitely being able to be an introvert, because I feel like loads of like workspaces force the introverts to be extroverted, and it's like, we're not. Can you just accept us as we are without it feeling like we're insulting you by just being ourselves? Because it's got nothing to do with you. Our batteries just drain when we're around too many people. Like, it's hard, and sometimes we may even feel anxious. So I feel like it's hard to get that understanding in a workplace. I do like being around people and socializing at times, definitely. Like, I love networking with people, love speaking to my clients, you know what I mean, love meeting up with other creators if it's natural and authentic. 100%, I love that. But equally, I love, not equally, but I love being by myself too. And also just being able to get as creative as possible, being self-employed and really just following my dreams, which probably you could do in a 9 to 5 if that's your dream job. But for me, this is where my dream job lies. That freedom, also being able to work from anywhere, really nice. You get to go on holiday and work. Today, you know, I'm in a full, you know, work outfit vibe, because I decided, yeah, today gonna go out, work in a cafe, work outside, get some sun, talk to people. I also had a consultation as well, so that helped. It was perfect. And there are times when I can stay indoors the whole day and work from home, and it's lovely. Introverted side, oh, so grateful. Being my own boss, very disciplined, so it's not something that I take for granted or take lightly, but it's a nice feeling and I'm loving the journey. Do you like eggs? If so, how do you like your eggs? I do love eggs. I like my eggs, is it sunny side up? If I'm going to like a cafe, when you can like cut into it and the yolk comes out. I also like scrambled eggs, and I like an omelette. So I like all the eggs. I also like boiled eggs, because I'm from Ghana. What's your next big goal? I don't think I have a specific next big goal. I have goals, a bunch of them. But specific next big goal, don't really have one. It's just expanding everything I'm doing. Expanding my content creation, working with even more brands, growing my business even more, and just expanding that in all the ways possible, I would say is my next big goal. I have very specific ones along the way. What would you recommend to someone who wants to be self-employed but is unsure? Go for it. I would say go for it. Ask yourself why you're unsure. Is it because you don't trust yourself? If so, then maybe get into like work onto building better habits, so like the discipline that it will take, because it does take discipline and it does take thick skin. And I think that's the side of this that people don't see, because yeah, you can be your own boss and you can decide to be lazy, but you don't have time for that. You need to be on it all the time, all the time. I don't know how else to emphasize all the time, but all the time. If there are skills that you feel like you need to build, then build those skills. If it's fear, don't listen to it. Just get started, get going. It depends on why you're unsure, but I would say honestly go for it. I don't regret it, absolutely love it. If it's a financial thing, it's either you're gonna have to thug it out for a bit or just wait until maybe you're in a better space financially to start. Whatever it is, I would definitely say go for it. Do your research as well, paperwork sides of things, taxes. I would say go for it. Yeah guys, thank you for asking me all of these questions. If you have any more questions, then comment down below and let me know and I'll answer them in the comments. And if you're interested in knowing more about my self-employment journey, then just subscribe to the channel, follow me on TikTok, because it's all gonna be there. Like, I'm taking you guys with me for real. Bye.